Hi, my name is Justin Latimer, and I'm going to show you a Medieval 2 Total War battle replay. This time it will be Portugal versus England, and it is from April's 1st. April's Fool's Day! Isn't that neat? I told my opponent before this battle I actually had a campaign game where Portugal was invading England through Wales. It was really weird. They came with a huge army, too.
I wait my orders.
This army would be nothing like the army that invaded my Wales, because this is a late-era army. This is a Renaissance army. And let's take a look at it. For my cavalry, I brought 2 units of Portuguese knights, and these guys are pretty interesting. I believe they carry a axe for backup? I can't remember. If so, they would be similar to the English knights who carry an axe for backup. Only I think these guys might be more useful than the English knights. These guys are pretty fun to use in campaign, or in these battles, because when you click on them, they'll announce themselves as Knights of Portugal. Which is just much better than hearing Knights every time you click on somebody. Portugal is surprisingly colorful. The faction colors are white and blue, but look at all this red that they have as well. The reason why I brought a Renaissance-themed Portuguese army, in part, is due because I've been watching a lot of Shogun replays, and I wanted to build an army that would be similar to the time period that those replays take place in. Because I wanted to apply some of the lessons that I had learned from watching Shogun videos. Which is a game I wish I could play, but my computer just could not handle it. These are pikemen, adventuros, very good pikemen. There's only one downside to them. They've got a bit of a ornery streak to them. They're over-eager to defeat the enemy, so they may charge without orders. Disorderly pikemen are not necessarily good. The Spanish Terrico are much more level-headed, but these guys are a lot stronger. I've also brought some musketeers. I brought 4 units of musketeers. Their extreme range is very useful for a Portuguese or a Spanish player. Well, that was obnoxious. Phone went off and the person didn't even answer it. For my infantry, I've also brought 2 units of dismounted Portuguese knights. These guys will be very useful for flanking maneuvers, as they have heavy attack. They carry a pole axe, pole hammer. Very good against armor. I've also brought some Portuguese arquebussers, and the reason why I brought Portuguese arquebussers is these guys have decent armor and decent attack. They can function as swordsmen. So I haven't brought any swordsmen to this battle. I'm going to rely on the Portuguese arquebussers, not only as a ranged unit, but also as my sword unit. I have an additional 2 units of Portuguese knights over here,
Men are under attack. We
and
must
2
act
units
now.
of mounted crossbowmen. I had a lot of money for this battle, so I was able to put my mounted crossbowmen in plate mail, which is mostly aesthetic. They're just as fast as they always would have been. They also have upgraded attack, though,
We must act now.
as I'm planning on using them as light cavalry. So I have the opponent outflanked. He has charged my Portuguese knights. Let's see if those guys do have axes. Nope, they have swords. These English knights have axes.
We must act now.
Those nasty, cheating English. They're cheating unless you're playing as them. Good rule of thumb. My general over here is pretty isolated. He's also
Our men are under
got
attack.
some pretty nasty
We need
stains.
to act.
Look at that, my general and his general are right next to each other. Looks like the infantry are closing in on each other. My adventuros are going to march against the enemy. He's going to attack with his heavy billmen. You can see quite a few arrows raining in from the enemy longbowmen. And there we go, I've slain the enemy general.
Our men are under attack.
Got
We
a ton of
need to
muskets. These guys will be able to do a ton of damage. My pikemen are also, they're not letting any men through, so my muskets are plenty safe.
Our foolish general has thrown his life away, and perhaps our chances of victory with it.
My general just died. My Portuguese arquebusters are taking some pot shots at the enemy. Armored swordsmen have penetrated my lines and are now fighting against my musketeers. I'm gonna send my Portuguese knights to counter. As I do not need them in the infantry fight. Like Terico pikemen, the Portuguese arquebusters got a bit of a temper. They like fighting. My adventuros are holding up good against the English infantry. My English opponent has invested in a lot of shock troops like the billmen and these dismounted English knights. Supported by my similar dismounted Portuguese knights, my adventuros and my knights will be able to defeat this army. It's bunched up quite a bit as well, which means that it's not being used to its best.
Bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Look at that pikeman guy. I told you these guys have bad attitudes. On this side, my force is collapsing a little bit. Pretty good volley from these musketeers. Billmen are routing when they get too close to my army.
My lord, only half our force remains.
This unit of cavalry is defeating this unit of armored swordsmen. I'm finally using some of my Portuguese arquebusters as infantry. There we go. He got him. Tag team on that one.
Our men are under attack. We need to act.
My dismounted crossbows just made a charge against the enemy longbowmen. They weren't being supported by the enemy infantry, so I took advantage of that.
Battle is in our favor if we remain true and wholehearted. Victory will be ours.
As the Portuguese arquebusiers are a late unit, they're armed with rapiers instead of regular swords. There's not enough units of rapiers in this game. Yep. Reload and just stand there with your guns. There's a lot of problems with muskets and arquebusiers and gunpowder units. But it doesn't matter at this point. I've already won the battle pretty much. My mounted crossbowmen are just harassing the opponent at this point.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
And so there we go. I've won a battle as Portugal against the English. Men deployed 1,061 against 1,141. Men lost. I lost 590. My opponent lost 1,045. Men remaining, I have 471. And my opponent has 96. Enemies killed, I killed 832, I captured 194. My opponent killed 603, and he captured 56. Casualties inflicted, my general's bodyguard took down 47, Portuguese knights 29, 18. My every unit of Portuguese knights took down 20 and 31. Adventuros 37. 29, 31, 68, Portuguese arquebusiers 47, 55, musketeers 12, 43, 25, and 36, dismounted Portuguese knights 36, 45, and some of the surprise killers of this game, my mounted crossbowmen took down 82 and 95, and I think that's probably because they were able to sit up on this hill and fire on the opponent, and they weren't countered very much at all. So that was very useful for my mounted crossbowmen. And my culverin was able to take down 53 men. Good game to my opponent, Marauder 166. One thing I would like to point out is that the Portuguese and the Spanish have very elite armies, very elite late-era armies. And one of the things I've noticed in this game is that when you deploy late-era technology, it's usually very effective. Good game to my opponent once again, and I will have more videos for you soon. Stay tuned.